What up, folks? What is going on? Y'all doing all right? Talk to me. What up? What up? What up? Today, I want to talk about self-defense. I want to talk about firearms. I want to talk about all these things. But if you are watching for the first time, what up, Kiwi Dog? How you doing, brother? If you're watching for the first time, it's pretty much just an ask me anything. Just tapping in with you guys, seeing what's going on, checking the temperature, seeing if we can't get this set up to work. It's kind of a new thing. Hopefully, we're doing the vertical live stream. I think we are. I think we are. You tell me if that's working. In fact, you don't even have to tell me. I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna try to pull it up on the on my YouTube app. All right, guys, drop some comments, man. Just finished reloading some 300s. Oh, subsonics, nice. Vertical is working. Appreciate you, DJ. Yeah. So, is that for your 300 blackout? Yeah, you said 300 subs. Okay, I can read. I swear. Man. Now I thought I was streaming over on Instagram too, but I guess I'm not. You'll have to tell me. I guess not. Okay. Yeah, I guess we missed out on that. Guess it's not streaming on Instagram. Oh well. Instagram hates me anyways. Y'all know Instagram hates firearms content, so no love lost there. So the question, I suppose, I see there's 4 of you in here right now. There's 8 of you in here right now. Do any of you own firearms? Are you guys gun guys? Are you guys into self-defense, martial arts? That's what I'm curious about. Is anybody actually serious about self-defense in firearms? I know there's a few of you in here who are, but sometimes, like, I go to the range and I see people there, and I'm just like, dang, other people actually own firearms. So, curious. If you guys want to drop a comment down below, let me know. Do any of you own firearms? Are any of you into hand-to-hand combat, self-defense, karate, jiu-jitsu? I know jiu-jitsu is kind of like a big thing. Appreciate you, DJ Play Nice, dropping the. Let me see if I can't get your comments up here. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit different because we're doing it vertically, so it just looks a little funny. Let me know if that's visible to you guys. I don't want to. Looks a little different on my side. You know what I mean? And of course, appreciate you, DJ. If it's your first time listening, welcome back. Love your support, man. So, question: how did you find this stream? Did you find it in the YouTube Shorts thing, or are you a follower of this page or follower of this channel? That's always exciting for me to find out. I think I'm going to try to open up the YouTube, the window on YouTube specifically in the studio, because I think your comments are going to come through a little bit quicker. I think the latency is a little low. Thank you, DJ. Now, I'm going to invite uh, anybody from our Discord group who wants to jump in. Y'all are free to jump in. I would love to chat, would love to talk, see what's going on. Obviously, if you guys are not familiar, YouTube policy says I cannot show guns, or I definitely would. But have you guys been watching any cool gun videos? Has anyone seen the Garand Ukrainian fighter video? I have not seen it, but there's been a little bit of controversy about it. Like people have been, I guess, kind of annoyed. I don't know. I guess they're frustrated that he's. I guess they think he's supporting the that whole situation. Although people were also upset when he was posting, I guess, at the beginning of that conflict, videos that included certain Russian guns. Oh, they were so mad. So if you look at his track record, he's not taking any sides, but maybe they know something I don't know because I haven't seen it yet. Kiwi Dog said it's great. Let me size that down a little bit. So you're saying I should go watch it right now? Yeah. Heck, why not? YouTube.com. And yeah, let me go ahead and pull that up. I think people are hypocritical. Yeah, definitely. People get all sorts of upset when you do, one little thing like, hey, man, what was the latest thing? I was actually just on the phone with Scout because he lent me his. I can't show it, but in this box contains something, and we're going to do a video on it soon. And well, actually, we've already done a video on it. In fact, if you're a member of our locals community, I forgot to post a link. But if you're a member of our locals community, you've actually already seen a little bit of content about what's in the box. Can't open the box because YouTube will kill the stream. I guess they're concerned that I will be doing something dangerous. But hey, hold on. Let me see if I can't get that. I actually just pulled up the Grand Thumb video. Let me see if I can't pull it up in here. Okay. Yo, Scout, yeah. Like Scout, he's humble. Scout's a good dude. Ever since before he even came on the show, he's been a really solid friend. Somebody who, for those of you who don't know, Shadow 2 Compact. That's not the Shadow 2 Compact. I wish it was. You can actually see, exactly what it is if you go over to this website, armedatlas.local. Sizing is so freaking annoying. I gotta fix this. armedatlas.locals.com. One of the more recent videos that I posted there shows exactly what's in the box. Let me see. I wish it was a Shadow 2, but it's just as expensive. I'll tell you that. So. And what's up, dude? Smart Shooters LLC, bro. If you're free right now, I will send you a link and you can hop in. and we can chat for a little bit. Would love to talk about what you're doing over on the Rostic side. Give you a little bit of promo. But you just send me a DM if you want to do that. I can't hear the video. Yeah, sizing is kind of a pain. Let me just see if Rostic sent me a DM, because would love to bring you on for just a few minutes to talk about what you got going on. You can't show it off on the screen, but let's see. Let's see if YouTube doesn't pull this down, because they're kind of so weird about showing the pew-pews, the firearms on the screen. Golly. Let's see if I can't get some sound coming in here.
Certainly, the war in Ukraine has changed a lot within the last 2 years, but it's important to glean.
F-tag, as soon as you want to, man. You're awesome. In fact, shoot me a DM right now, and let's get you scheduled, because we actually have room. Of course you know. Of course you know. What up, good people? Let me find my phone charger. I'm with it. All right, cool. Just shoot me a comment right here. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll send you the link to hop in. Until then, we're going to watch this video.
As much information as we can. Whatever your political stance is, whatever you believe about the war in Ukraine, it doesn't matter. Because no matter what, there are men fighting on the ground who have learned extremely important lessons. Drones alone have completely redefined the way warfare is being taught. So let's take this next hour and make sure that we take all this information that we can and that we educate ourselves. So today on Grand Thumb, we're going to be talking about how to survive the war in Ukraine from men who have been there. Now, we have to give a big thank you to our sponsors. All this information is completely free thanks to them. So first one is going to be the Sonoran Desert Institute.
Sonoran Desert
They
Institute.
support us so that we can give you this free information. And if you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, they are absolutely the people to go to. So go and check them out. They're class.
All right, quick question. Has anybody met anyone who's been to the Sonoran Desert Institute? I've actually met the guys who run it, or some of the guys. They seem like they're okay dudes. No problem with them. But you said this is a long video. All right, well, let's jump around. Oh my gosh, it's an hour and 20 minutes. Yo, I had no idea. Let's watch a different video. Yeah, I think he just did a video on the freaking FAMAS. So let's check that out.
Back when I first became owner of Mint Mobile, I promised one of our first and longest running customers was
My God.
Sacre bleu, I am a lover, not a fighter. I surrender.
Why is this acting up? Yeah. Raise your hands if you play Modern Warfare 2 or 3, and different mouse with your name. I have you. Listen, I have YouTube Premium, just not for my Armed Atlas and Casa Conversations podcast accounts. Get off my butt. That's super loud. Let me cut it down a little bit. Let me know if that's okay. I'm not even gonna lie. I envy this dude. He is just, him and his team are fantastic at capturing some of the most, I want to call it cinematic, but some, yeah, it just depends on how your definition of the word. But he captures some of the best, just boots on the ground firearms footage, just running around shooting. No matter what you think about him, I know he's kind of a Chad. A lot of my lefties don't like him, but a lot of headphones folks always complain about. Yeah, I guess we gotta be careful not to blast their eardrums into oblivion. My apologies, my good headphone people, but Mike of Grantham, freaking go. Like, I've not met him yet. Of all the people I've met, not met him. Would like to. Not because I'm a fanboy, but because I'm a fan of his work. You know what I mean? Have you run into him? Or you said you met him once or twice?
Probably one of the most recognizable rifles from any video game. What we have here is a rifle that I've really wanted to get my hands on for a long time. If you're not familiar with it, this is the FAMAS F1. There are other models. This is
FAMAS
kind of the
F1
model you think of when you think of the rifle that was adopted by the French military, although it is being replaced now.
Let's talk about it.
And it is a bull.
So, in the world of firearms, there's like three. Yo, chill out. Yo, you're hilarious. It said, "Who's lefties and why are we hating on left-handed people?" We're not. We're not hating on anyone. We love my lefties, but when I say lefties, I'm specifically referring to like people who are seriously anti-gun. But yeah. Well, I know Mochi was Mochi and him were cool. For those of you who haven't met Mochi or seen Mochi, we actually did an interview a while back. If I could pull that up, that'd be dope. I think I'll have to pull it up on the podcast page. But Mochi, I'll pull that up later. He was ugly. It's not a pretty rifle at all. So let's do a quick poll. AK guy, a Mochi Actual. Yeah, go follow him on Instagram. Mochi Actual. He's a sheriff's deputy now, but he used to be. He was actually deployed down in Poland, and also Paige and Lando. I don't know who that is. Who's Paige and Lando? But AK guy. Well, yeah, that's true. Anyone who uses guns will be a problem. Yeah, it's almost like I shouldn't take their opinion too seriously. Which, you know, it's weird kind of being in the position that I am in, because oftentimes, because of obvious reasons, you kind of more easily make connections with people who maybe they're somewhat into guns, but they're not into all the raw 2A stuff. So it's he's still in the reserves. Okay. So apparently Mochi Actual is still in the reserves. Can somebody find the link for Mochi Actual and post it up so people can go follow him? Good dude. In fact, I'm gonna do it myself. Fine, I'll do it myself. Instagram, Pageosity, and Lando X Weapons Outfitters. Mochi. Hey. Okay. This is, I'm actually going to show you guys this page while I'm here. So I'm going to post in the live chat Mochi's Instagram page, just because he's super cool. You should go follow him. He was nice enough to come on the podcast, and we'd like to promote him. And I guess I'll pull up his episode while we're at it. Analytics. His was actually, I would say, one of the most listened to episodes ever for the podcast. One of them. About to go to basic for Air Force. Excited and scared. Hey, you know what? I've got a lot of friends and, who have been in. I've not personally served, but I've got a lot of friends who have been in, and they can probably give you some advice. I don't know if they're Air Force, but there's even people in this chat right now who could give you some advice about how to take care of yourself. So the AK question, who all, by a show of hands, AK guys, AR guys? There's only two. There's only two options. AK guys or AR guys. It's not letting us hot link for the actual chat. Okay. Oh, well. Let's, you know what? Because I think this is also, my awesome moderator said it's not going to let us just put links that you can just click through. So, sorry guys, I'm like bouncing around. What up, user 1029? Right out of high school, can't wait to be honest, ready for life to start. All right, F-Tag. Are you hating on the Air Force? Talking about no need to be scared, it's the Air Force. And of course you're an AR guy. Talking about. Seriously. Like, here's the thing. I've never met an AK that I didn't like just right off the bat. Like, it just looks good. You know what I mean? Like that wooden furniture and just the old school, like you can go in the mountains, go to Siberia and run this AK, go to the desert, run this AK, like the vibes. But of course, AR for me is just way more practical. I wish I could show you my AR. But we're not going to do that because they're going to pull the heck out of this stream, and we're just not going to do that. AR, because I've never shot an AK. Listen, the only AK I've shot is actually a fully automatic AK. So does that count? Mm-hmm. Air Force guys go through trauma having to stand in formation too, I think. Yeah. All right, let me just put Mochi's page up here real quick, and we don't just see AR is not. Bro, send me a DM. Let me get you in here real quick. We'll have a conversation. Episode ranking, episode analytics. I'm trying to pull the link for the episode. I guess you won't need the link anyways, but if you go, just type in Costly Conversations podcast into your nearest podcast link and look for this episode. After Afghanistan, Sergeant Devin Mochi Showell. Did I say his name right? And that conversation is cool. He's actually, during that conversation, my guy Mochi Actual, he is in Poland at the time, and we're talking across the world because I'm in Texas, he's in Poland, and we're just talking about, well, specifically his thoughts of what happened with the Afghanistan pullout, what we were doing, who we are, the impact that it has on the guys who served in Afghanistan for far too long. There's a couple of guys in this chat who went overseas and had to do a thing or two in Afghanistan. And the question is, with them having gone overseas, some of them lost chunks of their selves, whether it's physically or, part of their sanity. overseas, and then you just pull out, and then it just falls apart. Like, that's tough. Like, that's really tough. So while we're waiting on Smart Shooters to shoot me a DM so he can hop in here and we can kind of keep this conversation going a little bit, let's finish this FAMAS video. Because, FAMAS. Actually, I guess you guys can see it now. This is Mochi's page. Does a lot of cool stuff. He's a tactical, cool guy. I want to be Mochi when I grow up. I think this is a video his girlfriend did for him. We can make it a little bit bigger. Can we make it bigger? Whoa. Okay. Says, having been to Afghanistan, having been with Afghan commandos, and then hearing everything that happened, pulling out, big hurt. Yes. It's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt. Like, you knew those guys. They're real. And I think a big issue that we have in the US, just being civilians and just regular people living our regular lives, going and being accountants, not like the cool kind of accountants who like go overseas and do crazy stuff, but just like regular humans. The problem that we're having is we're so emotionally detached from the realities, like we have no idea what it's like to do any of the stuff. And so, we have a lot of guys who I think maybe are a little bit virtue signally, or maybe they do understand the reality of like, hey, listen, like we can't just, do what we did, but it happened. But if you're interested in that conversation, go to Costly Conversations on like Spotify or Apple Pod and type in Costly Conversations after Afghanistan, and it should pull up. I'd love for you to take a listen to it and follow the podcast either here or on the podcast networks. That'd be dope. And I'm going to take this down. You guys can go follow Mochi if you like. He cool dude. He is A1 fella. But let's watch this video. Let's see what's going on with Grantham.
Pup, it is chambered in 5.56. It is a lever delayed blowback design using proprietary mags, and there are so few examples of this rifle in the US. We have been trying to get our hands on one forever, but Ian McCollum actually put a curse on us and we couldn't get one for like, how long, Micah? Like
probably 20 years.
Yeah, 20. The curse lifted, and now we have one in our possession. And as always, we're going to do a review of the FAMAS F1 from a what, Micah?
Shooter's perspective.
Before we get into it, we have to thank the biggest sponsor of the channel, who is the
Big Daddy Unlimited.
Micah?
Sonoran Desert Institute.
Oh,
that's right. No,
sorry.
No, Carl. So, if you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, they are the people to go to. We love them. They have excellent classes, and they support our crazy channel. They haven't gotten rid of us yet, and so we have to thank them. Go check them out. The Sonoran Desert Institute. And of course, who can we not forget? Micah.
Weird.
But we're gonna run the safety, dude.
Shooter, are you ready? Stand by. 189. So I mean, we can do one Charlie.
One Charlie.
I mean, what? You can run a bill drill on an AR in.
I'm sending this link over to
my guys so the trigger on this guy is heavy, about 9 pounds long, long reset as well. Makes it very difficult to shoot this thing fast.
Do it again. Let's do a second one.
Okay.
There we go. 167. And that was a really killer group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then
yeah, not bad. All right, shooter, are you ready?
Oh my God, that peep sight.
All right.
There we go.
Are you sure you want to open it up that much?
I do.
Okay, shooter, are you ready? Stand by.
Oh no, that triggers.
That was 208.
Okay, I shouldn't have opened it up that much.
Okay, so we got 2 Charlie, and then the rest are Alpha.
Did I miss something?
Are you ready? My bad, dude.
Is it adjustable? Do they have an adjustable trigger on this thing?
There you go, 185. Get you in, dude. Those all Alpha one leading off to the left a little bit, but
I think for me, one of the reasons it was so much slower than an AR build drill is I'm used to keeping my head back here on the stock.
Yeah.
But I had to get down in this little pocket.
We'll get in there.
And work that trigger.
this little hump is terrible.
It shouldn't be there.
It should not.
Yeah.
So we've done some build drill shooting. You can see how tough the trigger
Fergie
is.
made a rifle.
That's going to be important
hump
because
shouldn't be
all
there.
of your military or combat shooting is typically going to be done in semi-automatic.
So
Now,
it looks like on average 2.0 and 1.9 splits.
that is slow. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead. We're going to move out to an extended distance, and we're going to try this thing at what you'd consider your combat
Hey,
distances.
smart shooters, let me know if
for
you're
a
still in
rifle.
here.
I've got it on the
Went ahead
smallest
and sent you a
aperture on the
link. You
peak
can
sight.
hop in
So
if
if
you
you come
want
in right
to.
here,
And
there's several different apertures. So right now it's opened all the way. So this giant tunnel is fairly accurate weapon, as you can see from our earlier testing that we did today. And we're not testing for groups specifically. We're simply shooting out really freaking far, out to 560. And it did
560.
absolutely fine. I have no qualms
All
about
right.
the accuracy of the
question of the day. What's the farthest you've shot with handgun or rifle? I'm curious. I see there's a few of you in here. I would love if all 19 of you could just drop that answer. If you shot a handgun, let me know, yes or no, handgun or rifle. And then what's the furthest distance you've shot effectively? Effectively, not just throwing shots all over the place. Have you been to the range? Have you been to a long range? How far have you shot? Let me know. And while we're waiting on that, let's watch this video.
barrel, nor do I have qualms about the longevity of the barrel. They're very well made. So let's talk a moment about barrel twist rate. On the MAS variants that were imported into the US, we had a 1 in 12 twist. This might seem odd, however, it was a
Sorry, guys. Looks like we're going to have to put a pause on this because we got a special guest that just showed up. I'm excited. Special guest just showed up. Let me try to get him on screen and we'll go from here. My screen is locked. I locked it up. Sorry, guys. Looks like Rostic, you're on the screen. Let me see if I can make some adjustments because you look kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say it's like all of my... There we go.
I'm going to have to make another adjustment because you still look kind of funny. Let me see. What up, Daryl?
What's up, Brody? How you?
Man, good to see you. You may have to tilt it up a little bit just because of the nature of this beast. Guys, let me know if y'all can see him okay.
Yeah, yo, I had to throw this real quick. I had to hurry up, get the kids to bed so they wouldn't be all in the background.
Man, you're a real human being. You can have the kids in the background. Ain't nobody complaining. It's just us.
Yeah, I know. Us, yeah.
Jeez, and Brett. Oh, okay, Burnt Nugget. Just flexing for the gram. Talking about handgun, 100. Rifle, around 600. Machine gun, 1,000 yards. Okay. Okay. Talking about distances for long range shooting. I don't know if I've shot a handgun 100. I think I've only taken it up to 75.
Yeah, I think 105 was the farthest I've ever shot. I was shooting steel, and it took me about 9 shots to hit it.
All right. Well, it's something special. It's an art. I don't think most people really understand that there's a little bit of science that goes into shooting at distance. But
Right.
bro, you're back on the show already. This is
I'm
kind
back.
of like a different kind of show, right? It's still Costa Conversations, but for the lovers and the friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Bro, let's talk about your rifle. You've done some things since we last talked. You had an episode. Like you came on the show, you talked about kind of getting started with your rifle company, Rostic Arms. Man, I'm super proud of all the work you've done. You had a new rifle that's coming out or that you're in development with the 30. Which one is it that's named after your brother? Let's talk about that one.
The 308. The 308
308?
is the Kumar. Yeah, the
Kumar,
Kumar. That's going to be a beast, man. I can't wait. It's hard to get right because there's no standardization with 308. And so you got to find whose pattern works best for you, which I'll probably go with a DPMS pattern just because it's the most commonly used. But yeah, I'm excited for that, man, because my brother loved what I was doing, and so to do something for him is gonna be kind of cool.
Bro, I love that, man. Like, and here's a comment that you need to see. I'll put it over my head just so people can see it. Publish. Kiwi Dog said, Rostic 308 soon. I'm gonna be moving to a free state. This poor boy stuck in Washington. This poor grown man, excuse me, stuck in Washington, which has some issues, and of course he's gonna need that.
Right.
He said, "I'm gonna need that,
Man,
bro."
I got you, bro. The 308 is on the way. It's really just a matter of prioritizing what the people want, because we, being a smaller company, we don't have the capital, the R&D to venture off into a bunch of projects at the
Right,
same time. Like,
right.
we really focus our efforts in what the people want. Like, we have a 2011 prototype that people want. We
Hmm.
got a 9mm and a 10mm PCC. We have an AK-47 variant. Like, we have a bunch of projects that we've researched into, but it's like Palmetto State Armory does a great job of this. They just
Hmm.
did it this year, and having people vote on what they wanted from them. And we operating off the same playbook. Whatever people want from us, that's what we're gonna drop. Which right now is they want a PCC and they want a 2011. That's what everybody wants from us.
Yeah. So PCC in 2011. I mean, I'd like a PCC, but
Hate them.
it's just one of
I
those
hate them.
things.
I hate them with a passion,
Why,
bro.
why,
I
why are you hating on
hate
my PCCs, bro? What's wrong with that?
because it's like a waste of AR parts. Like, if it's gonna look like a rifle and it's gonna handle
He
like a
said it's a
rifle,
waste of
I
parts,
want it to
bro.
be. I want it to be. I don't want it to shoot what my Glock shoots, or I would just shoot my Glock. But
Well,
that's
a lot
just
of
me.
people
And
say
again,
for home
even
defense.
as owner,
But for home defense, would you
yeah,
not say
but
shooting, 5.56 in the house, it could potentially have some side effects, both from sonically and
yeah,
of course over penetration.
absolutely. I mean, but in reality, that's like anything. But I mean, my
Yeah,
nightstand gun is a Sig X10, and it's about to get swapped out for a FN 510 because I'm a
nice.
10mm guy.
A little
But
bit overkill,
I
but
mean,
yeah, every advantage.
I don't believe in that. Like, I
You don't
believe
believe
in,
in overkill?
at the end of the day, I gotta I don't worry about over penetration or things like that, because my family, we have a well developed home protection plan. So if something was to pop off, no matter where we are in the house, everybody knows their role and what they're supposed to do. And so,
Yeah,
God willing, nobody's in the way of over penetration, right?
that's right.
Um, but that's just, that's circumstances. I get why people want a PCC, but they
Yeah.
suck. Two thumbs down. But I'm gonna still give it to y'all if that's what y'all want.
Hey, I mean, give the people what they want, right?
I got to, bro. I got to.
You're bringing out a PCC. What was the other thing? Was it the 308 or was something else?
No, people want a 2011. So I only
2011.
showed it
That's
one time,
tough.
but we have a 2011 prototype, and it by far is the most expensive project ever. It's gonna be the most expensive one because the machine time is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I mean it
But
would be.
if that's truly what people want and the dollars follow all the polls and all the email responses, if the
Yeah.
dollars follow, then I mean that's what we're
Well,
gonna do.
listen, that's just from the outside looking in, from everything I know about business. If people actually want a thing, you got to give it to them, and you got to give it to them kind of when they want it, because
Absolutely,
the market changes
absolutely.
so fast. Right now, everybody's like Springfield Prodigy, Staccato, all that, which is those are cool, right? But I would love to
Yeah,
see Platypus. The takes freaking
platypus is amazing.
yeah, yeah. My guy, the humble marksman, David the Humble Marks. This is David with the Humble Marksman channel. Like, dude, I can't say enough good things about him just because he was the one who kind of put me on game when I first got into this thing. Like, invited me out to the first event that I ever went to. Those conversations kind of led to other things. Like, I'm kind of where I am today because, well, first of all, because of God's favor. I gotta, thank God for allowing me to be in this position. But of course, the people who open their hearts to allow some kid, I'm not 30 yet, bro, to tag along. Yeah, I'm not 30 yet. I'm not 25, but actually 30 this year.
Wow.
Yeah, 30 this
That's
year.
crazy. Wise beyond your years, bro.
I appreciate that, man. So it's David's cool, but he reviewed the platypus. In fact, I'm not going to pull it up. But the platypus is cool. But it distinguishes itself because of two things, right? The build your own and the shoot. Does it take the Glock mags? Am I tripping?
Yeah.
And the Glock mags. How do you feel like, just as a small arms manufacturer, you're going to be able to stand out on your own, or are you just going to make the best product you can and kind of go from there?
So the dope part about being kind of like, I feel like my little camera stand is not doing what it's supposed to do.
That's just what you got to do, man. Ain't nobody gonna trip.
Right. All right. Y'all know what I look like. The dope part about what we do is that there's a lot of people who still love boutique style guns, boutique style companies. And so even now with the ARs, there are people who don't want a big box AR. They want that personal touch. They want to know the guy who built. This is really getting like beyond me, bro. I can't stand it.
It's getting you.
But yeah, bro.
My man said he got socks older than me.
But
I hope you don't still wear them. And unless you tell me they were built different back in the day, I can't wear socks for 6 months without catching a hole. They used to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm about one and done with socks, bro.
So you're saying people like, let me move this because I want to make sure people know how they can check you out, check out what's going on. Rosticarms.com. Tell me that's the website. Tell me that I haven't had this up for the last hour, and tell me that's right.
Nah, bro, that's the website. You're good.
Okay,
you're good.
All right. Because you know me, I would post it. I'd be like, no, that's actually not. That's not the website, bro. All right, guys, for real. Go check out my guy Daryl Rostic. His company Rostic Arms. He makes a dope rifle. If you have questions about his rifle, check out the guys over at Classic Firearms. Their main guy, Clint, he's been hands-on with his, I guess it's a review copy. He might keep it at this point. He's had it so long. How many rounds do you think he's put through it?
We were just on his live. He went live tonight talking about it. And he's got about 700 rounds through it.
700.
And
okay.
Yeah, he's been running, and it's all been suppressed too. He hasn't cleaned it. Yep, hasn't cleaned it at all,
bro. Because suppressed is dirty business.
Yeah, and I want him to just run it till it breaks, and I want him to tell me what it takes to break it.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is, right? Like, at this point, that's what you need. You need that data and the feedback. If something isn't quite what you hoped it was, so you can make an adjustment and make sure that people are getting the best possible product. But so far, so good. I mean, he's been running it suppressed, which ages a gun. Like, it really does. Like, people don't quite understand the carbon buildup that happens immediately. And I went to an event one time, and they've been running a gun suppressed. I guess probably a couple thousand rounds through it, and we couldn't even get the bolt back. Everything was stuck. Like, things were locked up. I'm not going to say who it was because, I don't want that kind of smoke, but they make boutique guns, man. They make some nice stuff, bro.
Yeah, man. That's kind of where, bro, there's a whole wave of people who are just make it their mission to work with the smaller companies and stuff. Like, I'm very happy with the customer base that we have because they're never gonna meet the people. They're not gonna meet Reed Knight. They're not gonna meet Marty Daniel. They're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
meet those people. But you get to meet Daryl Rostic, and you get to see something in its infancy
Yeah.
grow to whatever God sees fit. There's so many people, like people. Somebody just messaged me the other day and was like, "Bro, I have serial number 13. Like that makes me feel special.
Yeah.
Like how dope is that?"
I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Serial number 13 off the rack, fresh off the shelf. You got it to somebody that's super cool. So tell me, what's been, because I know you ran into some issues, but what's been the hardest part about becoming a becoming a rifle manufacturer? You know, because I know there's been some laws that changed in your city.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've run into to manufacturing stuff where you're just like, hey, we can't put this product out. That's not right. Like, we're not going to do that. What's been the hardest thing? The number one thing that you like, man, like this is tough.
The hardest part is we don't make everything in house yet,
Mm-hmm.
and so the things we outsource. The gun industry has bad customer service, like all across the board. Like
Mm-hmm.
suppliers, distributors, everybody's customer service sucks. If they tell you it's going to ship on Monday, they'll ship it Friday with no reason given why it took an extra 4 days. That affects when we deliver product to the customers,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the hardest part. The hardest part is like if I order Geisley triggers or Radiant safeties, I have to trust whoever's on the other side receiving that order to get me things in a timely manner, to supply the customer in the time frame that we specify. And so
Mm-hmm.
again, I got good customers. They don't really trip, but there's just standards that I want to meet that I'm not able to meet because I'm not to the distributor world. I'm not a big timer yet. I'm still a small fry.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, you get it when we
Small
send it. And
potatoes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you, and it's
And
not
your negotiating
like
power is not quite there, so you're losing out
what?
on some of the savings that a lot of the bigger guys get just automatically because they are who they are.
Right. You would think I would think I'm like, okay, I got $10,000. That's leveraging power. Meanwhile, this ex gun store just spent 200,000 with them, so they don't care about my $10,000. Like
Right.
that's probably the hard part because um I have to really go meet people. That's why events like SHOT Show are so important to me
Mm-hmm.
because I get to meet the sales reps. I get to meet people and let them hear my heart and what I'm trying to establish for my community, for the people. And that usually gets me better results than just signing up as a dealer and then ordering parts wholesale. Like
Hey,
I
I'm pulling up
really,
your
really,
website right now because somebody was asking what do you
yeah,
have currently on deck. So I'm gonna give you the screen if I can. Hold on, I think I can do this a little bit differently. Boom. Oh yeah, I remember the hotkeys, boy. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so
yeah,
this is my guy Rostic. This is his website, and y'all accepted new dealers, huh? Just keeping growing.
yeah, man. So we've been trying to go the retail route, which has been super dope, man. Just getting in different stores, giving them demo product, and we've been getting a lot of good feedback, man. A lot of good feedback, and so hoping that the retail route really pans out to be what we need. I love direct to consumer, but my arms can only reach so far. So
So you guys have a 300
yeah,
blackout.
so we got a few of them. That actually was the February gun of the month right there. So every month I do a fun themed gun that I think is super cool. It may be something a customer sent us. It may be something we prototype just to spec it out. And I go on Instagram and I let people vote on it. And whatever people vote on, that's what we put out as the gun of the month. And when that month is over, like this one, which is the February gun, you'll never be able to buy it again.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so if they want to get that, they got to get it like now
Yep.
because February is
Uh,
over like today, pretty
Absolutely.
much. And
Right.
it's not even $1,000. My first rifle was like 1,050. So that's not bad.
Yeah, and the thing about pricing and all of that is we gotta stay competitive. Um, Good night, son. I love you. Go to bed. Um, the thing about our pricing is we gotta stay competitive and we gotta do what it takes to get our margins. But as people will tell you, I mean, that's part of the reason we brought in Sezzle. Um, we're about to bring on Credova for financing for people. Like it's really not about the money with me yet. It has to be about the money because we have to operate. But I mean, there's been time I've let people make payment plans. I've invoiced people and just build them. We just started doing layaway. Like I'm all about getting my product in people's hands. So, um, yeah, as far as price goes, it's an investment, just like anything else, man. And
Yeah.
I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one, bro. We have had minimal feedback on any negative experiences. I think the worst feedback I've gotten so far is I sent somebody a rifle, a patch, and a keychain, but I forgot to send them a sticker, and they really wanted the sticker. But that's like the worst feedback that we got.
That's hilarious. Bro. So here's the question that just came up. Any ambi lowers coming? Are you getting back into the lowers game? I know there was a question of like, hey, maybe I'll do lowers, maybe I won't, because you really want to push people towards just buying the full rifle, getting the full experience. Because you put the lower out and then they put some crappy upper on it, and now they have a
Right.
crappy experience. Your product is very distinct,
Mm.
where like look, hold on, I'm gonna see if I can zoom in. That lower is so specific where you have
Yeah,
that
that's our that's our signature.
the signature. Let me see if I
That was the
here we
goal.
go. Come on, bro. Like it keeps moving around. So man, that looks good. And so somebody throws a piece of junk upper on that. It people might say, well, I see that Rostic, it ain't running. Have you changed your mind?
Exactly.
Have you opened your heart to the fact that people want you lower, and if the people want something, you should just give it to them? Have you changed your heart?
No, no, not that lower.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I invested in forgings, and I just have regular forgings. They have our logo, and they're just $100 on the website. People can go grab them because I know some people want to grab something from me, but they don't need a whole rifle, but they still want to support. And it's like I can appreciate that, and so I'm cool with doing the forging thing, but I
Mm-hmm.
definitely can't. But we got a distinguisher now. Like, so the forgings that are the logo is white and it's laser etched and not engraved. That's how you know I sold it as a loader.
Mm-hmm.
And if the logo is engraved, then you know that it came as a rifle. And so we can track issues in the field better that way. Should
Yeah,
there
that
be
just
some?
makes a lot of sense. Is it a different serial number, or is it still on the same Rostic serial?
Yep, it's the same serial number because again, I want people who grab our lowers to still feel like they're part of the family, part of the team. I don't want them to feel like I just made a crap product for them. And the
Wow,
forgings I
yeah.
got real high quality. So I mean, again, bro, I just wanted to put something out people can feel like they were part of the family. But that signature, that lower specifically, is a whole rifle lower. I will never sell lowers. Those are my friends who got those lowers were because they like help fund us and help start us.
Bro, that's awesome. I definitely appreciate you doing that. So let's jump into the drama. Let's jump into the tea, because you had early on, early on, you really wanted to get the guns into people's hands. Sending it to the Grand Thumbs of the world. Unfortunately, I don't think he was available at the time. You ended up sending
Right,
one over to
right.
Clint from Classic Firearms, and just for the love of the game, he was like, "Yeah, send me the gun. I'll see what I can do." And he's been testing and reviewing it. Put 700 rounds through the gun. That's awesome, right? But there are some people, including myself, who had some stipulations on like how I would need to operate in order to give you the best product. But there are some people who maybe were asking for not just too much, but not offering anything in return. Talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about that. You
So
could talk about me if you want to, but talk
here-
about that.
no, because your thing is a timing thing. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a you asked for too much thing, right? It's just got
Okay.
to make sense. And again, we we're a small business, so any hiccup we feel it, right? Like
Right.
when you got a smaller pool of water, when the water ripples, it ripples harder and faster in a fishbowl than it would in the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the way you got to look at finances. Is we're a fishbowl. Daniel
Mm-hmm.
Defense is ocean. They can afford a ripple, and this side won't feel it forever.
Right.
We can't do that. So what was happening was so many people were hitting us up like, yo, send me a free rifle and I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Send me a free rifle. I'm going to put you on. Send me a free rifle, to the point where I had to hit the brakes and say, wait a minute. I was going over numbers, looking at all the free rifles we sent. And I won't call people out. You know who you are. We sent so many free rifles out. We sent out more free rifles than we sold. And
Ooh,
that month we were under by like $5,000. And
that's
I
too
was
much,
like,
bro.
bro,
For a small
how did
company, that's a hit. You know what
like
I
if
mean?
we had another like that, we wouldn't exist,
Right.
because it's really like that. And so I was like, how did we let this happen? Like, and I had to sit
Mm-hmm.
down with my team, the people that I trust, and say, yo, as much as it as much as we need it, there's got to be a better way, right?
Yeah.
And so we got like influencer pricing now. Where if you really want to help put me on, you can buy one at cost, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
buy one for the cost it costs us to make, so we at least break even on it, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many people who respect where we're coming from with that, or they said the ones who we do still send free rifles to, they say, let me prove my value to you. Like, shout out to the homie Real Rambo J. Real
Mm-hmm.
Rambo J, that little homie right there has done, in just the short couple months I've known him, has done so much for us from just the brand awareness standpoint. He did a giveaway. The only people could win is if they followed us.
Mm-hmm.
He like there's so many things just like that that he did that was just, and I've never sent him nothing. He
Mm.
was like, I just think what you're doing is dope and I want to
Yeah.
help you win. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, we gotta send him a rifle. Look what he did without us ever asking for anything.
That's awesome, bro.
Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So there's genuine, like, there's genuine people out there. Black Rambo, I love Black Rambo. Black Rambo has brought my name up and my rifle up in spaces and places that I'm like, I would have never even met these people
Mm-hmm.
had he not said something, right?
I,
Like, you
I
know what I
remember when
mean?
he actually first got the rifle in. I think he had it on his table and he was like, "Hey, look what just came in. It's a Rostic. This is cool. Rostic Arms, check them out." And then people in the comments like, "Hey, what is that? What is that? What is that?" Creating an awareness, and that is the power of people with influence, not influencers, because there's a lot of
Right.
people. There's even people, not to throw shade, but people who have come on my show who, you're like, "Hey, this person's got 30,000 followers on Instagram. Cool, maybe that'll give us a good bump." Nothing. Same people who listened
Yep.
last month listen this month. They didn't bring anybody. They posted about it on their stories, and it really it did nothing, right? And the reality is, there's people who have influence, like the guy who wrote the book "In Defense of the Second." If I had it right next to me, I'd show you guys. It's an interesting book. It shares a lot about how to effectively defend the Second Amendment and kind of counter a lot of the crap that you hear from people who are in the anti-gun sphere or have no regard for the Second Amendment, like everybody in your state, unfortunately. So,
Mm-hmm.
wishing you much success. Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate the love that you're showing to our guest, and I'm gonna take a little bit of that
Hey
too.
man,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank
Hey.
you. You know that, bro, that means a lot, because a lot of people, again, a lot of people want to support us and
Mm-hmm.
they don't know any other, like, even the people who ask for free rifles, that still comes from a genuine place, right? That comes from them trying to help us. And so I don't knock that at all, right? But I don't want so many rifles flying out there that it's like, where are the sales coming back? When influencers tell me, oh, I can post it, but I can't tell you how many people will buy, I instantly turn that off. I'm like,
Yeah.
because if you don't have 5 friends that you can directly influence to buy
Hmm.
something, uh so Iron Lion Gunworks, do you know who that is? He's a holster
No,
maker.
no. Let me pull them up while you're talking.
Yep, Iron Lion Gunworks. He's a holster maker. Cool guy from Utah. He was on my head about getting a Rostic arms. I finally got him some stuff out there.
Nice.
Um, but I wanted to show him my influence, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went
yeah.
to his website.
Go ahead.
I want to help promote him. I went to his website. I paid for a holster. He asked me, does he need to throw anything else in there? I said, absolutely. Whatever you want to throw, you can. But
Yeah.
I'm fine with just my holster. And on my YouTube channel, I'm going to run your holster. Like, and I have 5 people right now based on one Instagram story I made that's like, yo, we'll just buy it just because.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll just, if you don't have enough influence to get 5 people to buy something, you shouldn't even be asking for a free something, because I don't need
Yeah.
likes. Like,
Right, because likes and clicks don't really pay the bills. It's a huge funnel. Like those who don't really understand the power of like the influencing game and social media and YouTube and
right.
all that. It's a huge funnel. You get 1 million views, you might get a conversion of 2%. You know, like you might,
Exactly.
and depending on how you've established yourself and the kind of reputation and really the kind of reach that you have and the kind of people who watch your stuff, it could be better or worse. It could be 10%. That could be amazing, right? It could be just 5.
Mhm.
But this guy, Kiwi Dog, he's actually somebody who's in the Discord group. If you are interested in joining our Discord group, let me know. Follow me on Instagram at armed_atlas and send me a DM. I'm gonna send you the link. You can join our Discord group. And if you have questions about firearms, questions about guns, questions about life, a bunch of dudes in there with plenty of experience, and we would love to help you out. Kiwi Dog just said he has the book on his desk right now. I'm curious. Why did you buy the book? Did you hear about it on my show and you were just like, hey, let me support this guy? I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm just super curious because sometimes
No, but
I
two
don't
two.
see it. Sometimes I don't see it. I'm just like, I don't track every single number, right? So I'm just like, okay, so like we did this, we did this, we did this. How effective was that? And then I'll get a DM that says like, hey man, just bought somebody just joined the freaking group, just joined the Discord, and they were like, yeah, I bought the Walther PDP because I saw your video, and I was like, cool. That's awesome. It's a great gun. You should be happy with it. I hope you're happy. Let me know. Do you love it? And then somebody else was like, yeah, my boy was looking to buy a Hellcat. I showed him your video. Now he's got a Hellcat. I'm just like, that's awesome. A Hellcat Pro, the handgun. And so that just brings me joy. Not to be like, oh, I'm getting people to buy stuff. That's not really the important part. But that the opinion that we're putting out is trustworthy. That people don't see it and just oh, he's just making a video or he's shilling for a company that sent him a gun or something like that. Because that's not important to me. Like the viewer is my customer. The viewer is, in my mind, as valuable as family because of what you guys do can help to feed my family. You know what I mean?
Now,
The
can I ask you a question based
Yeah,
on
yeah,
what you
go
just
ahead, go
said?
ahead. Yeah, yeah.
So, in your honest opinion, do you believe that someone who was sent a free gun for they had to put nothing up, no cost, no nothing, do you ever think that they can truly give an honest, transparent review?
Uh yes, I do believe that, and I'll tell you why I believe it. I believe it because my guy, who is actually he's in the chat right now, he sent me this gun. I had to put a little bit of money up to get it. Sent him like a couple bucks to make sure the transfer went through. But there's a gun in this box. I promise. And you know, I'm making the video. I have nothing to lose. Like, okay, his feelings might be a little bit hurt if I tell people that the gun that he sent isn't great in certain ways. It's just is what it is. And on the other side, let me just collect my thoughts a little bit. Somebody might say, hey, listen, sometimes when you spend money on a thing, there's something inside you that says like, hey, like I need this to be good. I spent $1,000. I spent $1,500. I spent $2,000 on this thing. I need it to be good. And now your opinion is it's not swayed, but your original disposition on the product is like, yeah, this is great. This is great. I love it. I just spent all this money on it. You know, if you bought a new Lamborghini, right? Like you spent however much a Lambo costs. How much does a Lambo cost, bro? Do you even know? Like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, you be looking at 250 starting off.
Right. So if you spend $250,000 on a Lambo, and now you're like, yo, this is the greatest thing, but you know the door creaks a little bit. No, it just needs a little oil. You know, you start making excuses on why a thing isn't good. In reality, maybe it has some issues. Oh, it malfunctioned once. Oh, it was bad ammo. Nah, it malfunctioned twice. Oh, now it's a fifth time doing the exact same thing. This is a pattern. This is a flaw. But you start excusing things because you've invested so much. Now it takes a mature reviewer to be able to cut through what you were talking about, where it's like, well, you've kind of put nothing into it. Potentially, are you swayed because you feel like you're getting free stuff and you want to continue to get free stuff? And that's the pollution that we have in our industry. I think that's what you're getting at. If you want to stay on the good side of the companies, right? Reality is
Right.
that can have an effect. And I think we see that with a lot of the big booms, like, hey, Springfield, all the Springfield Chads come out, they start posting. Nobody says a bad thing about the gun. We have all the Daniel Defense guys posting. No one says anything. People are raving about it. Oh, the borax is so low. But then they do somebody pulls up a diagram and like the borax is the same. It's the same as every other gun. In fact, the Glock 17 is lower. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, are people swayed because they don't want to blacklist themselves and want to be able to continue to be invited to things? They want to continue to get free products and free guns, things that don't cost nothing. Or are they mature enough to say, you know what? The most important thing here is to make sure that the audience gets a true and realistic depiction of what this product can do for them. Because this is life-saving equipment. This isn't, water, which water is life-saving equipment, but it's a little bit simpler to get clean and fresh water. You can get it anywhere. You can get it cheap. So that's where I'm at. I know I went on for like a whole 30 minutes, but those are my thoughts.
Bro, you good. I wanted to know your opinion because, I mean, honestly, I'm mixed on it, right? Like, And as the owner of a company, we have to go back and forth with that all day. Like, if I give somebody, because when I just did YouTube, when I was just Smart Shooters LLC and just did YouTube, it was easy to do reviews because I paid for everything, or my FFL just paid for everything. So I was like, I don't mind if a product sucks because I use my money for it. I just think it's hard when companies start sending you $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 worth of guns. I think it starts to get harder for people to be honest and just.
And I could see that. I could see that where it's like, ooh, the dollar signs, because there's a lot of people who flip products. People don't talk about that. But you get a good gun in, you shoot it for a little bit, maybe it goes in the safe, maybe something else leaves the safe. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it goes on Gun Broker. You could sell it for nothing. You got it for free. Now you made a little money. I know guys who they get sent night vision, like $40,000 worth of night vision. You're paying some bills.
Right. Now, is that guy really going to say that night vision sucks? Is he really going to say that?
Here's the thing. This guy specifically, he's never done a review on night vision. He's only directly communicated with the company. So his words to that company, it needs to be analytical. But if you're doing a little review where you're like, hey man, can I get this night vision? Okay, they send you $40,000 worth of night vision. You better say something nice. For me, exactly. I have a rule. I have a rule where even if, because I know here's the conflict. I'm just being super honest with you guys. I know a lot of the people who run these companies personally. Like I know you, Mr. Daryl Rostic. I said your last name kind of
Exactly.
funny. I apologize. Rostic.
It's
Um,
okay. We'll always do.
Appreciate you, man. I know the guy who runs Neomag. I know, I don't know the guys who run Wilson, but I know some of the upper, C class guys who are in Wilson Combat who has been on another one with their futtery. Oh my gosh. If y'all don't calm down with the don't put gadgets on your guns, I'm going on a tangent.
Yeah.
But like that, like I have no problem calling them out just because like I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to be very fair. Like they make great products, but some of their media guys are wilding. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, um, if your product really, really, really sucks, like if it's really, really, really bad, I'm gonna call you. And this is something that I've recently had to do. I'm gonna call you and be like, hey, we had an issue with this. It's all on tape. I recorded it. We're gonna have to put it out at some point. But, is there something that I did wrong? Is this an issue?
Mm.
Is this user error? And sometimes it's like, hey, these are just rules of thumbs for this kind of product, specifically Tyrant CNC. I wasn't affiliated with them at first, but now I do have an affiliate link. If there's something that you like from there, um, you can buy something. I tell you exactly what I like from them. There's things that they make that I don't like, and I'll tell you that. And they're okay with that. I'll call Corey, their marketing guy, up on the phone. Be like, hey, Corey, and be like, who is this? I say, it's Armed Atlas. Oh, what's up, man? Good to hear from you. I was just about to call you. I sent you an email, stupid stuff like that, right? And then he'll, I'll be like, hey, so I was shooting the Glock 43. True story. Just did this video. Glock 43X. They made a mag extension, right? We had issues with it. We couldn't load it all the way. And then if you did overload it to the +4 that it's advertised as, you couldn't cycle the gun. This is insane. You're asking people to buy a thing and it doesn't work reliably. You send it to me and it doesn't work. If you're sending it to me, what are you sending to
Right.
them? And so I called him and I was like, hey man, so I just recorded and this is some of the issues that came up. And he's like, oh, that's actually a simple fix. We actually recommend, it's not on the website, but we recommend, we've seen this before, that you load it up to +4 and leave it just sitting there for about a week. I'm like, oh, that should be on the website. And I told him that to his face. I was like, hey man, that should probably be on the website just so people have, the right expectations set. Because if I send somebody to buy something, or even people who don't watch my video, just go buy it, that's a problem. They need to feel,
Right.
things need to either work out the box or have very clear like disclaimers, kind of like Shadow Systems in their 100-round break-in period. Like if you have a break-in period, it needs to be super apparent, like super apparent. I understand
Yeah.
high end pews with the tolerances. They say, hey, we, break-in period because things are just super tight. I guess I don't know. You're a manufacturer. You could tell me better. But let me try to like get to the point, right? People are probably like, hey, get to the point, buddy. Point being is I'm going to tell the manufacturer I'm having an issue with this and you have 3 seconds to fix it. And people will know that we had this conversation at least at some point, right? And then
Right.
They're going to know what the fix is if there's a fix. And generally the audience is very understanding. Okay, so manufacturer is recommending these things. Oh, okay, well, I don't like the product, so I'm not going to buy it. Or I really love the way this thing looks. Even if it's not perfect, I'm going to spend money on it and I'm going to make sure it works. Okay, great. And if the manufacturer has a problem with that and they don't want to work with me anymore, there's 1,000 other manufacturers out there. They'll work with me. And if we get to the point where we have no more friends, we have you guys. You guys are my friends. You know what I mean? Like you guys will make sure this thing goes. Definitely appreciate that. So I went on this super long tangent to explain how I feel. But you can be objective, but you have to make the decision to be objective. It's not something that just comes, and you have to be really clear about that.
Yeah, somebody in the comments I'm looking on my laptop over here. They said that you can tell that some influencers are into it for the free stuff, and it shows. Like, and you can tell, right? Like, um, so I do gun reviews because I'm a firearms instructor as
At
well,
Smart
and
Shooters LLC,
I
the
do it
YouTube
for
channel.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I do that so my students can see guns run. They can learn about them before they have to invest their money into them. Um, like one of the things that was disappointing to me was the echelon, right? The echelon was great when I first got it,
Yeah.
but
Well, you were raving
then
about
they
it.
hit that. Yeah, I was loving it until I
Yeah.
realized everything that was wrong with it. And I feel like Springfield missed the mark because they were so
Hmm.
busy getting the guns out to everybody, talking about how modular this gun is, but you can't buy any of the modularity that it's marketing.
Right.
We can't take that trigger system out and put it in anything else right now because there's
Yeah.
nothing available.
I think they made
Huge,
another grip recently,
huge.
or is it out?
You don't. If you have to ask me that, that means they missed the mark.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that should have been available on launch day. If I could take
On
my full
launch.
size
Yeah.
and I could put it inside of a compact, and I could even put it inside of a subcompact and
Hmm.
put it in a micro, that should have been on launch day.
Yeah. They should have sent it
Not it
out
can
to
do all
Wilson
these things,
Combat
but
and Icarus Precision and a few other guys who make 365
exactly.
grips or, P320 grips. And they should have worked that out, because like how fast would you have bought it on launch day if you're like, oh snap, you have big name manufacturers who make the best grips on the planet out here in
Right,
force. Boom, 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 boom.
right. So I can buy a few frames, and I literally the echelon with the serialized component can become every gun that I need. Yes, I'm buying that.
Heck yeah, brother.
But you remember Echelon launch day, bro. There
Hmm.
was nothing else on YouTube. There was nothing else. You
Or
couldn't
Instagram,
we
bro. What you mean?
if you went live, we couldn't see it because all we saw was Echelon stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
From
and I'm not.
from first thing in the morning, because there's some guys who launch at 6 a.m. They want to be first, right?
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
And then there's guys who launch later in the day. Then eventually you get the Colion Noir video out. And then, he's going to laugh about the gun, tell you about how much he loves it. I love Colion. Colion's kind of low key my hero. So, you know,
Yeah, he a
yeah, I
cool
met him one
guy.
time. We
He a
shook
cool guy.
hands. Yeah, he's a cool dude from what I've seen. Obviously you never know somebody till you know them. Like there's some people that I thought I knew, and then something came out and you just like, oof, that's not good. So is what it is.
Yeah,
But I don't know anything
there's
bad about Colion though.
there's a lot of pressure in this game. Even thinking about Colion, because there's so many people. I know I get so much flack because I like him. Right, I
Oh
get a lot
well,
of
let's talk about that for a second. So
right.
Colion Noir, um, I, he actually went on your boy's podcast, and he explained some things that I felt like really cleared it up on the my gosh, Classic Firearms podcast. Colion Noir
Yeah,
had an
yeah.
episode, and I should do a reaction video, just kind of break that down, because there's so many questions that we've had, especially if you're black in the gun space and you maybe have a certain um, if you're tapped in to certain veins and you're like, hey, listen, like maybe I'm not like social justice-y, but certain issues that I see as plain and simple, like you didn't speak on that, Colion. Like NRA
Mhm.
didn't speak on these things. And then when you finally did speak on these things, you had a lawyer speak versus like, hey, let's get down to business and talk about like that kid didn't kill himself. Like things like that. And I don't want to
Right.
alienate everybody on the stream who maybe doesn't quite agree with me, but ultimately it's not even about that. It's about when you kind of expect something from somebody, if you really feel like a kinship. A lot of black dudes bought a gun for the first time ever, felt like it was okay because they saw him. And then when he didn't speak on certain things,
Exactly.
as gun owners are being killed in the street, and he's silent. That, I know that hurt a lot of people badly, badly, and it hurts your
So
credibility.
I I struggle with that though, because
Yeah.
there is a balance and there's a fine line to it, right? Like, because yes, some things need to be spoken on, but for an example, and I don't know if somebody mentioned it in the chat, I thought I saw something. I recently just did, last week, I did a gun safety event
Yeah.
in a city in Michigan
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
completely racist.
Bro was talking about that. Let me pull up that comment. If I can
Yeah,
find it.
it's first of all, I did it in Wayland. If you look up Wayland, Michigan is not black friendly at all.
Strap House Customs. Thank you for being here, bro. Like, if y'all like some
Yeah,
custom work, go see Strap House. I think he's out of Atlanta. Tell me I'm wrong.
that's dope.
Yeah, yeah. He said
So
that he saw what you were doing. But
yeah,
go ahead and
read it,
explain.
read it.
Oh, my
No,
bad,
I
bro.
wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I heard what he said because I
Oh,
appreciate the
where is
love.
it? Where is it? Yeah. So
Oh, you
let's
love.
make sure you get your flowers right now. I see Rostic out here doing work in the 2A community, speaking about gun rights, helping to make sure community understands new gun laws for his state. So I saw you did some posts and some stories about it. And of course, I did see specifically you were at some sort of advisory board or something like that. You just tell me
Mhm.
exactly what that was so we can be super clear and let people know.
So I got asked to be a part of an initiative from the United Church of Wayland, Michigan, because of the Michigan safe storage laws. So Michigan safe storage laws, along with red flag laws and a bunch of other stuff that just passed in Michigan, I was asked to explain that to people as well as give them advice on how to cope with the new laws and just responsible gun ownership in general. So I was on a panel with the police chief, with the Allegan County head prosecutor, the assistant prosecutor, um, and just a bunch of other people from their community. And it was a dope experience because one, I got to do it. Like I said, Wayland, Michigan is not known for being very friendly at all, especially to black folks. There's not even a lot of us that live there. There's probably 20. And so to go into a community like that and stand side by side with the prosecutor and police chief and educate the people, it was great. And then the question and answer session really just turned into everybody interviewing me and asking. I got to educate people on things like having a home protection plan, how to
Hmm.
foster a conversation with your child about firearms. How do you know when your child's ready to have that conversation? I wrote a whole ebook about it. Like,
Hmm.
so that's what the event was about. And really, what I was there to do is help people understand there is a gun law about safe storage and lock your guns, but your real home protection plan has to be bigger than gun locks. And so that's why I was there. But to the point I wanted to tie it to with the Colion Noir thing is there are racial issues that happen even in my state that if I go on public platforms and speak, I never get those opportunities.
Yeah.
I don't get to reach the masses because I felt more of a need to voice my opinion than wait till I was in a room where I could really impact change. And that's where I feel like Colion gets a bad rap because no one knows what that man's doing behind closed doors.
Right.
We don't know who he's donating to. We don't know what causes, what meetings he's going to that
Hmm.
make real change. And me and I don't know if you know Jay the Shooter, but he's a
Yeah, I
great
know
guy.
Jay. Yeah,
Um,
Jay's amazing. Y'all go subscribe to
yeah,
Jay the Shooter and come out to Pew Party. That's actually at the end of March. It's a machine gun
yeah.
shoot. It's going to be awesome. I have a link. I didn't post it, man. And guys,
Post it.
I have to find it. I have to find it. But I want you guys, whether or not you use my link or not, go look up Pew Party. Follow me on Instagram because I'm actually going to post about it tomorrow. So
Dope.
make sure you're following me on Instagram, instagram.com/armed_atlas. And if you don't have an Instagram, if you're kind of an oldie, send me an email, aaron@costlymedia.com. Costly like the little bar up top, costly, COSTLY, media.com. I'll send you whatever you need. All right, man. Look at this. I appreciate my old timer. being kind to us. Well done, young brothers. I'm extremely proud of what you both are doing. Thank you.
And
I'm thankful that you're following.
thank
And please go, if you can, support what my brother Rostic is doing, because at the end of the day, we can talk about this stuff all day long, but you know guns in the hands of Americans is kind of the coolest thing that we can do in regards to, outside of being an awesome person to your family, of course. So
Yeah, and I want to be clear too that what he just did, that is support. Like for me,
mhm.
it's never really about the money, bro. When I see old timers on the street and they wanna dap me up and just say keep going, sometimes that's
It's
all I
needed.
need because
It's needed.
the machine might have broke down that day and I had to
Hmm.
pay out X amount of thousand for this and I'm having a rough day and somebody say, "Hey, ain't you the Rostic Arms guy? Hey
Yeah,
man, keep going, man. You making us proud." I
that's
need that.
that's awesome, bro. Let me tell you about a time that happened with me. So I'm at the NAGA annual convention, the very first one. It was a cool event, and I'm sitting at a table, and somebody's like, "Well, what do you do? Like, what's your thing?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I do a podcast." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, 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 but what else do you do?" I was like, "Well, I make some YouTube videos too." And he was like, "Oh, I just saw your video on the." I was like, "What? Like, you know what? That's awesome, dude."
Mhm.
And he was like, "Man, keep going, because there's a lot of gun content out there that I don't really connect to." And specifically, he was referring to gun content with the more urban flair that he just couldn't
Yeah,
connect with. Which, I'm not, no hate to those guys. Those guys are doing good work and connecting with their community. As long as they're doing it safe and effectively, I ain't got no problems. But for
right.
him, he just couldn't connect just with them, unfortunately. And so I assume, um, being that he could connect with me, that there's others who maybe are like him, who they want to watch cool gun content. They want to have conversations like this where we're chopping it up, talking about things that matter or don't matter. Like we're talking about Grand Thumb videos one second. We're talking about Rostic Arms, one of the few black-owned rifle companies, who is getting into all sorts of business. Look at you, bro. Like that's awesome. And of course, trying to make sure you get out there so guys like Hook'em Horns can find you, and whether he supports you with his with his words, or is somebody, maybe not him but maybe somebody else, is able to buy a Rostic before February is over, because you got that limited edition February Rostic. That would be dope too.
Yeah.
um yeah, it's awesome. But let's get back to the matter at hand. You were talking about being able to really get in there, go to your community, and make sure that they know about firearm safety, things like that. That's important.
Yeah, bro. And that's so tying it back to Jay, because
Yeah.
me and Jay, the shooter, had a dope conversation. We was on the phone one day for like 2 hours, and
Hmm.
we were just talking about knowing the difference between when you need to publicly say something and when you need to try to get in the room to actually make a change. And I think
Wow.
there's a lot of people who are there's a lot of people who are blowing the opportunity to get in a room to make change because they want to show Instagram that, see, I'm down with the cause too. And that's why my heart hurts for Colion, because I can just imagine as a black man how many causes that he supported, but
Hmm.
because of the role he played, he didn't want to mess up a situation, even a situation that he hasn't gotten to yet. But we feel as consumers, if you didn't post it, then you must not
Right.
support it.
But
And that's kind
isn't that the,
of
the
what
crappy thing about what we're dealing with? Like, remember the black box? Somebody got murdered. Let's all post a black square on our Instagram feed. For what?
yeah, absolutely not.
Solidarity? Like that's cool, but tomorrow, here's Gay Pride Month. Every company and their mama has a new logo for Gay Pride Month. After the month is over, they ain't doing nothing. Like it changes immediately. It goes into some other
Right.
month. And you're like, okay.
Exactly.
So, I mean, obviously, maybe you did something, maybe you didn't. Or maybe this was just a logo. Maybe this is just virtue signaling. And virtue signaling pisses me off, like more than most things. Because I'm like, be about it or don't. Like, I don't
Right.
post nearly as much as I could. But let me actually pivot hard, or not hard, but like go back into your point about Colion. Actually, I know a guy who has a personal relationship with Mr. Noir, and he said, y'all could say what you want about Colion, like maybe he didn't do this or didn't do that. There's actually a few people. Let me tell two stories. One is more important. One of them was like, "Hey, Colion actually got me in the room. Like, I wouldn't be here today with the connections and the ability to make the change that I make right now, because this guy's way more outspoken than Colion has ever been in his life, right? He would never have gotten in the room if it wasn't for Colion basically vouching for him, bringing him on the show, allowing him to have a platform. Like, because, Colion used to have a show. And then
Mm-hmm.
another guy was like, actually, Colion Noir was there for me when my father died. And this guy, black dude in the industry, kind of a staple in his area. And loss is hard. It leads to things. I recently
Right.
lost somebody the other day, and it changes the way you think. You start having like weird invasive thoughts, like, man, like this real talk. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to spend a lot of time getting to know a lot of older people anymore, because it would suck to lose them. Like I'm in church, and I'm seeing this older guy who, dap him up, and I'm just like, this could be the last time. And you start having weird thoughts, like, these are not my thoughts. Like, this is not the way I think. And so, like, don't take that as like a way to think. This is not. It's not a good way to think. Get to know these people, because their life has value, and you want to glean as much as you can and pass it to your children, right? But
Absolutely.
the fact that Colion was there for this man, and like that speaks to me more volumes than, oh, he spoke on this very specific issue that you wanted him to speak on. I haven't spoken on so many issues recently that have recently happened, not in any depth. It's because I don't have enough to really, really talk about it, and I don't want to just put stuff out there that's maybe not true.
Mm. That makes me feel like this is why I feel like personally everything doesn't need to be spoken on
Yeah,
that we see. Everything doesn't need a response, because you never know what people are going through, man. Like, even just talking about loss. My brother got killed last February, right?
yeah,
And just being honest, bro. Like, I grew up in the streets, so the only thing I'm really thinking about is what do the get back look like. And when I tell you that so many people in the gun industry came and wrapped their arms around me and was like, listen, you cannot throw away everything you got going over what happened. I get it hurts, and I'm right here with you. Like, it's crazy. And they never did it publicly. It was like
wow,
there was no need for it, right? Like, they
right.
just came
Because that's such an
and
intimate
did the
thing.
thing. Right. So it's like, but because they didn't post it, does that mean that they didn't support me? Like, no.
Right. Because they
Like, they
didn't have
did.
an
I didn't
Instagram
need
story sending love to Daryl. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So, I think sometimes we gotta reevaluate. My brother, we were just having a conversation today on, once you start reaching a certain level of success as a black man, how much do you owe the black community? Because a lot of people feel like once you've made it in a certain aspect, then you owe all these favors to the black community. Like,
Hmm.
you have to speak on black issues. You have to, or you're a sellout. And he was like, how
Or are
much
you a
of that is
slave?
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Hard questions.
it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many, once you've made it to a certain stat, and people think I've made it to a status that I haven't.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. In a way, you have, but also, what is people's expectation? Hold on. Hey, Rostic, you back?
I'm back, bro. My
Hey,
bad.
don't worry. I was feeling dead air. I think we didn't lose too many people. Burnt Nugget said, "Gun to your head, you got to cook a 10 out of 10 dish. What is it, and what's the drink to go with it?" So for me, I'm gonna make some of my world famous. If you haven't heard about it, you're hearing about it now. Chicken, Um, it's gonna be chicken with bell peppers. I'm gonna beat that chicken to death. I have a new meat tenderizer, and I'm just destroy it, and then I pan sear it, season it real good. It's awesome. Drinks, we don't really do alcohol over here, so probably something a real crisp natural lemonade.
I can
Per
see that. I can
chicken with
see
the
that.
rice though. Chicken with the rice. Maybe some veggies, some carrots, some broccoli. Yeah. What you got for me?
I think I think I'm just making salmon, man. I'm making salmon.
You can
I'm
cook.
air frying it. Yeah.
Air fry on the salmon. How do you air fry it and keep it, you know, you know, salmony, like flaky and juicy, and air fryers sometimes they kind of suck the life out of things.
Nah, you ain't cook, you cooking it too high, man. You gotta lower
Hmm.
that temp.
Lower.
Yeah, lower that temp and let it go a little longer, man. But air fried salmon is amazing, bruh. With
Yeah.
a nice garden or Caesar salad on the side and some Propel fitness water, and I'm good.
Yeah. So I was asking people what they do for what their day job is. Obviously I'd love to know what people actually do. And that's the beautiful thing about the way I approach this content creation thing is I want to talk to real people. Like that's why we have the
Right,
Discord. That's why I'm in the comments because I want to know what people are actually saying. That's why I'm over on Reddit, one of the most toxic places on earth. It's because I want to know what real life people are saying. And so Strap House Custom says he pays his bills via tech support. He's a tech support guru. So the question is, do you have a phone voice, Mr. Strap House Customs? Do
right,
you?
right.
But
So what's your day job? Do you have a day job?
yeah, I work in special needs. Right now, I work
Okay.
one on one with my client. I've worked with multiple clients in the past. One of my favorite jobs ever was probably one of the toughest jobs I ever had. Is I worked in a school as a teacher's aide in a school for kids with emotional and intellectual disabilities. So we uh, we had a lot of kids who were bigger than me, who were off their meds a lot. Sometimes their parents would steal their medication because parents are sometimes like that, the bad ones, anyways.
Mm,
And so they would come home from long weekends after we put all sorts of work into these kids to try to help them to be better people, long conversations, trying to get to know them, sometimes dealing with pretty tough punishments to help them to like understand that there's gravity behind what they're doing. And then they would come back over a 3-day weekend, worse, you know, and that was tough. It was
yeah,
tough hearing that my kids got sent to crisis intervention. It would be tough. It was tough to hear like, oh, one of my kids got arrested. It's like, man, man.
that's rough.
It was a tough deal. Yeah, it was tough. But yeah, day job. Now I just work with one client. He has autism. Good guy, but there's risk.
Yeah, I recently had to train a student in a Firearms 101 class who was autistic.
Really, how
And
was that?
it was rewarding and
That's good.
refreshing.
That's good.
He's so detail oriented, and his
Yeah.
parents, they didn't want to, it's not about a carry license or anything like that. They just wanted, he was about to move out on his own, and they wanted him to just know how to use a firearm. Um, and so it ended up being a really interesting time, man. His mom was there, his dad was there. He
Mhm.
outshot the whole class, which was crazy.
Of course,
Um,
of course.
yeah,
Depending
but
on where you
it was
are,
rewarding.
and I say where you are on the spectrum as if it's a linear thing, but depending on how autism impacts your learning and ability to focus and different things, because it's different for everybody. It's so like there's certain things that are pretty like it follows like certain laws of like, hey,
Mhm.
these are the ways we treat individuals who have this condition. Um, but those who are more high functioning, who can go to the shooting range and actually
Right.
engage, and who can have jobs and things like that. Um, sorry, this comment was so random; it just popped up. Talking about your voice is deeper than his or hers. Female
Who?
avatar, male name. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I don't know. That's 2024 stuff right there, boy.
Yep. Yo, chill, bro. Yeah, but it's that's interesting, and it's some people with who are more high functioning have what you would call like a gifting or a superpower, and it's like, man,
Yeah,
maybe I'm not super socially awkward. I'm sorry, socially capable, but I'm able to really excel and really just dominate in a very specific thing or a couple things. And your life can be just amazing if you can really harness, harness your superpower, where somebody can kind of come along you and help you, you know.
yeah,
But even still, it's
yeah.
tough.
Because his ability to focus was admirable. Like
Hmm.
I'm telling you, like I only had to demonstrate once, and it was almost like it was. I never seen someone absorb that fast.
Yeah,
And I was just like, wow, I'm talking trigger discipline. Everything was amazing after just one conversation.
yeah. Bart Nugget said support, research, and resources for kids with autism. Absolutely, because
Absolutely.
think it's one of those things where oftentimes it's kind of like and I don't want to sound mean or anything, but what you call like a hidden disability, because there's a lot of people you have no idea until you really have a deeper
Absolutely.
conversation and it kind of cuts in. You're like, oh, something. This conversation just looped. We had the same conversation twice, or you're
Right,
really
right.
really obsessed with this. Why do you like trains so much? And that maybe that sounds funny, but like it's one of those things. Um, Reed's test, Rad's test. Somehow, I don't know what that is. Somehow, I guess I should. Sounds like something I should know. Hmm. Either way, so there's that. That's my background. What did you do before? And I know you've said this. I've watched a couple of interviews that you did, but what did you do before you became an entrepreneur?
So I worked in manufacturing for about maybe 14, 15 years. Um, I went to college for a semester, dropped out, was like, this isn't for me. It's crazy to pay somebody $50,000 to get a job making $50,000. So I just went to factories and worked as much overtime as I could. There is a company called Amway, if you've ever heard of it.
I know Amway.
Um, so their world headquarters is in my city. The
Nice.
DeVos family, the Van Andel family, they're all in my city. And I got to work at world headquarters. They were moving a manufacturing facility from Lakeview, California to Ada, Michigan. And I got to work there, be a part of the plant startup. And it taught
Nice.
me literally everything I knew about business. It
That's
was
freaking dope.
crazy.
That's
Like
dope.
we got to go to like the cost analysis meetings. We got like it wasn't just go push the buttons, go run the product. Like we actually got to go to scheduling and planning meetings. I got to learn how to read Gantt charts. And from that stuff, when I started making my own entrepreneurial endeavors, I just put the same systems in place. Like I probably wrote 100 SOPs and made standard works, which is just visual SOPs. um, I did that stuff 100 times, and then when I got my own business, I was like, well, in order for somebody to come help me, there needs to be a documented process of what to do.
Hmm.
Even now, there's how to make a rifle. Then there's step by step with pictures, how to assemble a Rostic arms, how to disassemble a Rostic arm. So that way, even if I'm swamped and I need to just pay my nephew to help me, I can do that because he doesn't need me to hold his hand. He can follow the standard work and standard operating procedure. But that's all stuff I learned from manufacturing. So um, there was other jobs I tried like sales and stuff, but manufacturing was my bread and butter. In Michigan, it used to be like the best way to feed a family. As you
Hmm.
went in the plant, you worked your way up, and then I got all the way to like a supervisor, then an operations manager. And that was crazy too. Like I went from managing people to managing budgets. trying to learning the heartless side of the business. Like,
Yeah,
hey, you got to go tell 39 people they don't have a job anymore. Um,
it's tough.
but we're all gonna get raises when we stay. Like, I've been on. I've been in a lot of manufacturing stuff. I work for a lot of Fortune 500 companies, Steelcase, Herman
Hmm.
Miller, all in operational leadership. And so, um, my brain just thinks systematically, which is why Rostic Arms just feels so natural because I just treat it like a manufacturing facility and just run it like that, and it just works for me.
Yeah, I mean that just makes a lot of sense. That hands-on experience really propelled you through and kind of gave you like just the necessary groundwork to actually be successful. Because how many businesses fail within the first year? Is it like 50%? I mean,
Man, what I have, it's a lot. I know personally, I have like four businesses that failed.
yeah.
Like,
Well, you can't
before
fail
I
on
ever
everything.
got to,
Yeah, you can't fail
bruh,
everything, so might as well keep going.
bro, get the failures out the way fast, bro. Like, that's
Yeah,
why I hate when people are scared to try stuff. Like, I had a ringtone store when ringtones was a thing.
bro,
Um, yeah, I
bro.
had a whole. I paid
How
rent
old were
to a.
you when you started that? Were you 16 or are you just that much older than me?
Bro, I'm 35.
Okay, okay. Because I remember ringtones were a big deal when I was in high school. Like,
Yep, so I probably was fresh out of high school.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, it was cool. It was hustling, but I did it, and that was the first business that taught me to move with the times,
yeah.
right? Because it didn't dawn on me that the guy I bought all the equipment from was selling it to me because
Because
he
he's
was
trying
in
to
the
get out.
phone tech space and he was getting out.
Hmm.
And so I was like, lesson learned, right?
But
Um,
how does that what's the bigger lesson there? Because like you said, move with the times. A lot of jobs are coming and going. Now videography jobs, like if you're into stock footage, if that's how you get your money, yeah, that's less relevant or it's becoming because
hmm
now OpenAI has decided to launch a product that can create stock footage out of nothing, out of thin
Yep,
air.
yep,
And it's very convincing. Yeah.
absolutely.
Shoot, I'm thinking about using
So
AI for some of my thumbnails because I'm like, you know, just a lot of the ideas that I have in my head, like I can't just go to a stock footage company and ask for that. Like,
yeah, AI is great. So to me, that's I guess, and again, that's moving with the times, right? Because
mhm,
there's nothing that stops that stock footage photographer from learning AI, utilizing AI, and then
mhm.
even teaching others how to use it to get some supplemental income while he figures out his pivot move.
Right. Well,
You know
and
what I
even
mean? And so,
understanding his industry so that maybe he can continue to do what he does, but in a more specialized way or for specialized clients who don't want
absolutely.
AI.
Absolutely, because like there's always an angle, right? And I know that everybody shouldn't just start courses and start teaching people stuff and because some
Right.
people just can't teach.
Yeah.
But however, there's always a way to supplement income while you pivot, right? Like
Hmm.
I had to pivot from smart shooters to Rostic Arms. I had to when we analyzed how much money we were giving to other gun stores because we're teaching people but we got to take them somewhere else to buy guns.
Right.
We, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
we
All
had to
that
keep
margin is
looking. Then,
lost.
yeah, exactly. And it was a
Yeah.
lot, bro. We taught over 1,000 students, and we were at about 400 students before we ever thought about maybe we should get our FFL so they can come buy from us. You know what I mean? So that's 400 students that I left. Yes,
Hmm.
bro. I was pushing ringtones, bro. What I'm talking Boost Mobile, where you at days. Like, yeah.
Yo.
And there's so many local rappers in my city. I was catching all the local rappers and dope dealers taking their songs and chopping it up and making them ringtones. So all their little groupies and friends would all come. I made a killing off of ringtones
So you
until I
you you
didn't.
actually made a little bit of money before the industry dried up.
Yeah, but I caught it on the dry up though. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like I don't mean to say this in a weird way, but it's just Michigan. It's kind of like the people who are trying to become firearms instructors right now. They're trying to go through NRA or
Mm-hmm.
USCCA to become an instructor, but it's because they're fantasizing about the money everybody made in 2020. And
Yeah, that money's not
I'm like,
quite the same. Like you gotta love
it's
it.
gone.
Like you gotta love everything about being a firearms instructor, including being poor. Like that's just reality.
Bro, you absolutely have to. Like you absolutely have to. And I tell a lot of people, they're like, what, because I was a trainer counselor for a long time with USCCA. So I was
Hmm.
able to certify other instructors, and people would ask me, like, what's the secret to success? And I was like,
Hey man, how
you
much
gotta
money you made
love
last
people,
year?
right? Because, yeah, when you see that number, then you're like, oh, no wonder
Mhm.
you started Rostic Arms.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, but I love people so much. Like, bro, there's so much about my past that I don't put out there yet. But like, I mean, I was a youth pastor for years. I did church security for years. And so
mhm.
everything I do makes sense and aligns with what I got going
Yeah,
on. But I
yeah.
love people, and that's what makes everything I do make sense.
Now I feel like this is a whole podcast in itself, and we can't dive into it just because we are at the 2 hour point. So it's kind of like, okay, so when but it's
Well, I told you that I need to come back.
right. You got to come back because I'm trying to see where do we pivot from street cat to youth pastor because that's a hard pivot. Like, where did the Lord come into your life, or was your granny just praying for you? Like, don't get into it because this is a whole story. But if people, hey, if you're watching right now, first of all, like the stream. I don't know why you didn't like the stream. And then
Yeah, like it. It's easy.
it's not hard. It's just like double tap double. I think that's the secret. Just double tap the screen and you like it. Um, and so if you're interested in hearing this man's come up story, part 2.5, part 3 of our conversation,
Right.
a formal podcast, sit down, real focus, not just talking about everything, but talking about his story of how he went from street dude to youth pastor to entrepreneur selling rifles to his community and teaching them how to be safe and responsible with guns. Like that's crazy. Like that's a weird story, and I'm here for every second of it. If you're interested in that, make sure you subscribed because Daryl Rostic is coming back to the show. We want to make sure that you can listen
Yeah,
to
man.
every second of the story. I think it's cool.
Yeah, bro. I can't wait. And I hope if anybody, I don't, if anybody's watching this and they're in a pocket of life and feel like because of outside influences, you can't do what you really want to do, like, I hope when you do hear my story, it lets you know, like, just try it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just try it. I tried everything. I was a rapper. I had my own line of Italian shoes. I had
Yep.
a screen print and embroidery shop. Like I tried it all, and then I found what worked. And I still don't think I'm done. I still don't
Yeah.
think I'm done. I think it's only gonna lead to the next thing. So that I guess we'll leave that with that until I come back.
Yeah, man. I think that's how we'll do it. And since we're oh, 10 seconds away from the 2 hour mark, we're not kicked off at 2 hours, but that's just the time I allot for myself to do these things. Let's go ahead and call it a day.
Right.
And make sure you're subscribed because if you're not subscribed, it just doesn't help my numbers. I'm trying to get to certain points in my life. Help a brother out. Did you enjoy the stream? Drop me a comment real quick just to be like, hey, I enjoyed it or no, this was trash. Trash can emoji if you hated it. Um, guys, this is awesome. We normally stream like full podcasts, like hour and a half, really focused, trying to make sure we share the stories. Monday nights, full format. Put it on your TV, bring the family. It's not always family friendly, but sometimes it is. And
Hmm.
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And of course, Mr. Rostic, can you just let people know one more time where they can go to buy your firearms?
Man, you can go to rosticarms.com and you can follow us on all social media at Rostic Arms. You can go to my personal page, Daryl Rostic. You can go to Smart Shooters LLC. You can go to any local firearms dealer in Grand Rapids, Michigan. You're gonna be able to find me everywhere. I'm gonna be all over the place because that's the type of grind we got. But check us out on social media. Get to know me. I'm very transparent with the process, and I'm here for you. And because I love rewarding people who stay till the end, If anybody goes to my website and the next day, 24 hours from right now, and you tell me Armed Atlas sent you, I'm giving you 20% off of whatever you buy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's awesome. Thank you, bro. First of all, I'm gonna say thank you for these people because some of them, they can't type fast enough, so it's gonna be like, it's a little weird. But make sure y'all are subscribed, and of course, like he just said, go to his website. Let him know that I sent you. 20% off is crazy. Imagine buying a rifle 20% off. Rifles included? Or are you talking about like accessories?
Yeah, no, I'm talking if they bought just a basic, just say our base model is $900. That's
Okay.
$180 off. I'm gonna give you
Bro,
just
that's
because you
crazy.
stayed with this podcast till the end. Like I rock with Armed Atlas. Y'all don't understand.
I
Like,
appreciate that.
bro is on a different level with what he's doing. I can't believe you're not 30. That just tripped me out. I'm gonna go to bed thinking about that. But
Yo.
I love what you do, bro. I love what you do and for the culture. And so that's my word. Y'all got 24 hours. You buy something from me, I'm gonna give you 20% off.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. My man said, "Can I pre-order?" Yo, I don't think he's got a pre-order on his website for that 308 yet. But
No, because here's the thing. I'm actually gonna have to end up contracting DPMS to just make our uppers for it.
mhm.
And then I'll be able to use my own handguard and stuff. But see,
Yeah.
that's a whole episode in itself too, when I could teach you guys about OEM manufacturing and how I think I talked about that before, how the same 9 companies make stuff
Yeah.
for everybody.
Freaking Arrow Precision pretty much is everybody. Here's the last thing I want to add. So this is something that I've wanted to do. So make sure you guys are subscribed and follow me over on Locals, armedatlas.locals.com, because what I want to do is get you and some of my other buddies in the space who are in manufacturing. Maybe they work for a big company, maybe they own their own manufacturing, and have like a round table. 4 dudes on screen talking about their passion. And yeah, maybe it's a little bit of a turbo nerd session, but if you want to learn something, if you want to feel smarter when you get done listening, like if you want to fill your day a little bit, that's what we want to do. So
Bring
guys,
Randy.
Yep, Randy. I called Randy already. I said, "Hey, Randy, you want to do this?" And he was like, "Yeah, heck yeah, brother." So Randy of
That
Obsidian
man is
Tactics.
brilliant.
He's actually one of the biggest supporters of this show. Like if I ever need anything, like he's on it. So obsidiantactics.com, code Armed Atlas actually gets you free shipping, which, you get to the end of your order and you're like, like this, like what? Another $10 for the shipping? Nah, you ain't got to worry about it. Obsidiantactics.com. Obsidiantactics.com. Go ahead and check that out. Guys, we're out. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Make sure you share this with your family, friends, all that stuff. Peace.